Hi and welcome to the Art of Tarot and to your March 2025 readings. This is a little intro to sum up everything you need to know before we get to start the reading. You can also click directly into your reading in the timestamps if you don't have time for this little introduction. I am Stephanie Kosher. I am an artist, a musician, and also your favorite tarot card reader. And I do readings in a way that is a little more psychological than it is esoteric, but I do use the Western astrology system and the tarot system, of course, to gain more insight, maybe a little guidance, maybe a little inspiration for a situation that we're struggling with, or just, for an input that we want to have as a little bit of a spiritual push forward. I do use astrology, as I mentioned, Western astrology. I don't believe in astrology. I do not believe in astrology, is how I always like to say, but it is a very helpful and interesting medium and tool to gain more insight and to go a little deeper in the interpreting of the cards. Also, it really is important in the tarot card system because historically the tarot cards are connected to the astrological system, so we want to take advantage of that. In the first part of the reading, you will see a general energy that I'm talking about. In the second part of the reading, there is a relationship dynamic. So if you are struggling with relationships or you want to have a little more answers, this could be every relationship. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can also be any other relationship in your life that might be challenging or might be a little confusing. So we're gonna remind ourselves how to maybe deal with the situation with the help of the cards. And that's basically it. Check out my description box. Please subscribe to this channel. Give me a like, give me a comment if you enjoy these videos. I'm also mainly an artist and a musician, and I do all types of different creative things. So if you're interested in the big picture and all the other things that I'm doing next to this channel, then you can go to my website, you can go to my description box, you can go to my Instagram, of course, and see more of all the things I'm doing there. So enjoy your reading. Thank you so much for being here. These readings are separated into the different zodiac signs. So whatever you are identifying with is how I like to say it. It doesn't have to be your sign, but if you're feeling like a Leo today, then watch the Leo reading. If you're feeling like your sun sign, moon sign, ascendant, whatever, rocks your boat. So just go to where it draws you and enjoy a little message that might bring you further. I hope this is helpful, and I hope you enjoy, and I hope I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Hi and welcome to this Leo March 2025 reading. I'm excited you're here with me, and we're gonna look at the energies that want to come out with the cards and have a little conversation about what you want to bring into your life and what you might get rid of in your life. I was tuning in a little bit and trying to channel what comes through before starting this reading, and it was really interesting. The thoughts that came up for me before I started this reading. Sometimes I like to share this because I feel like it could be messages that could be interesting for you. So for me, it was really a thought coming up of, it was just a quote like, you cannot force people to see you. And I was also thinking about your full moon. So we just had a Leo full moon where maybe something came to conclusion when it comes to being seen, being heard, being in the spotlight. Because Leo, of course, is that sign either way, but also maybe you're watching for somebody else or you're watching your ascendant or moon sign. So this was a message that came through really strongly. You cannot force people to see you, or you don't want to have to force people to see you. And if they don't want to see you or cannot see you and perceive you as who you are, maybe they have not found that side of themselves inside of themselves. So often when people refuse to see or to accept or to perceive a part of you, often they have not integrated that part within themselves and feel uncomfortable with that. So yeah, that's something I thought is very interesting that came through. And we're starting with the Nine of Pentacles, which is a really big indicator actually for that theme, because when we are in the Nine of Pentacles, we really step into our confidence. We know our worth, we understand our qualities. We don't have to convince anybody about what we are capable of doing, what we like doing, what we don't like doing, about who we are. We just are, and we have the strength and the power within ourselves to understand that we don't need to convince anybody of our qualities. So that's very beautiful. With the Nine of Pentacles also, it could be a body thing or a very physical thing, also when it comes to money or material resources. So the body is also in a sense a material resource or a materialized resource. Maybe you feel really good in your body right now, or you have a new routine that makes you really feel good. I say routine because this is Venus in Virgo, and Virgo is a lot about routines, especially when it comes to the body. And when we have Venus in Virgo, it could really be finding a more enjoyable routine for yourself. Nothing that feels too hard or too intense or too extreme or constantly pushing your boundaries. It's just like, oh, this is fun. I actually really enjoy this. This is beautiful. Maybe it has to do something even with the arts, you know, maybe it's like something athletic with the arts, like dancing or singing, or something that really challenges your body to do something creative. Which, yeah, or artful, I would even say. So there's a lot of body energy for me personally, what I'm sensing right now. So yeah, I love this. The Nine of Pentacles is a great card to have in the center of the reading. You can really tap into your, I wouldn't even say potential. It's more than potential. It's really like understanding that you're on the winning streak. This is a card that is also called gain. So it's really about gaining results, gaining and seeing the results of your discipline, of your work, of your focus that you put into something. Nice, great energy. So if you want to finish up a project, or maybe go to the finishing line of something that you've started, this is a great time. You're in the zone. Oh wow, we're moving out of the Nine of Swords, 9-9, but we're close to the finishing line. This is a finishing line type of energy with the nines, of course. If we have to think about the Nine of Swords as something to leave behind, that's a good thing, because it could be that with the Nine of Swords we were in an energy where we had a period of overthinking, of very intense and maybe even a little bit cruel thinking patterns that we had a hard time stepping out of, or that were controlling us, or that became a little violent towards us. This is a card that with some, there's this great author, Gerhard Ziegler, he's a German writer and esoterist, who writes about this card. It's often the cruelty of patterns that we experienced as kids, from teachers, from parents, that were like, you can't do this or you can't do that, like in a very cruel and direct way, you know, not in like maybe you should think about something else, but in a very direct and cruel way. And so maybe this is still this is something that we might have had to deal with in the past or in the recent past, and this would very well correspond with the idea that we have to convince people to see us. And very oftentimes, and I had that experience with teachers, especially with teachers as a child, interestingly enough, where I felt like I'm not seen, you know, they don't see the full picture. They just see this 1 hour of this one lesson where there's constantly lag, or there's only pointing out mistakes, because that's what teachers do, or at least that's what teachers used to do when I was a kid. You know, it was just a very regular way of teaching. And maybe this is something that you're in a process of overcoming now. This doesn't have to define us anymore, because it is violent action. It doesn't mean that it's not true, but it's also about communication. The Nine of Swords is a lot about how do we deliver something, and especially with children, of course, this is much more difficult and much more dangerous, because you can really create some harm there and program something into a belief system into a child that is not helpful. But it seems like, yeah, there's a great overcoming of this, or a great understanding, awareness. We're building awareness, and it doesn't have to keep us from standing in our confidence. Very intense, wow, but beautiful. Would make sense with this full moon, of course, in February. So where do we go from here? Four of Swords. I like this, and the Two of Swords. It seems like we did a good job integrating some part of us that, or working ourselves through something quite difficult mentally, and coming out on the other side in a very stable position. We do want to give ourselves the chance and the ability to rest once we had gone through an intense process of strengthening the self, strengthening our belief system. And the Four of Swords is that type of retreat from a fight even. It's a little bit like a fighting energy. We had to fight this. So give yourself, yeah, with the Four of Swords, we want to give ourselves the rest that we need. We want to give our mind the chance to recuperate and to process. And we want to give our body also. This is more the mind, but through resting the body, the mind can also settle. This is the Four of Swords is very much about settling the mind. And stepping back from any conflict or from any hardship that is in the mind, that is in the head, that is in the thoughts. So it is a card of meditation as well. It is a card of letting things settle by itself. You don't have to force your mind to do anything here. You really want to just let it be. It is a card of, in my book, of early meditation practice. So if you're not a deep meditator and you're not used to a regular meditation practice, then this can be just the very beginning of a routine where you feel like, oh, I don't have to believe everything I think, you know, I don't have to try to control my thoughts. I can just let my thoughts be and distance myself from them, and maybe practice that. And it shouldn't even be work. It should not feel like hard work. This should more feel like, okay, my body is tired, I need to rest, and I will let things settle by itself. It's also the muddy waters getting clearer and clearer again. Beautiful result of this whole process is the Peace card. And wow, we have the Knight of Swords here as well. A lot of swords energy. So there has been, I feel like, a lot of mental, I want to say hardship or intensity to maintain your status of confidence. And now you're ready to step into a more peaceful, literally peaceful time with this card called Peace. More peaceful moment where also contradictions and where also maybe contradictory thoughts or things that don't necessarily look like compromisable, if that's a word, can be existing next to each other or together. You don't have to figure out any contrast right here. You know, it's like the Peace card, the Two of Swords is really this card where we find the common ground. I mean, that is the idea of peace. You know, even if there is contradictory thoughts, contradictory opinions, contradictory facts, even, we can still find this one spot here where we can find the compromise, also within ourselves, and therefore really gain a deeper sensation of calm and peace. This is also ideally, of course, a result of this meditation practice. So yeah, beautiful, but wow, okay, intense. It seems like an intense time. Sorry, I just had to take a sip of my coffee here. Okay, so let's look into the relationship dynamics. It can be romantic, of course, doesn't have to be. It is people on the outside or another person. This is just a very quick insight. Oh, wow, okay. All right, I like this. It's also very mind heavy. Extremely, we have all these swords here. So yes, this, of course, your own, standing in your own power can create friction with the outside. And that's such a regular just result or consequence of getting better at really standing in your power. It seems like you're really standing in your power here with the Emperor, of course. So this is very empowering situation for you. I think this is really about I mean, just plain and clear, people, you're just not compromising with people who have a certain way of maybe twisting the truth, or Five of Swords, or gaining something out of doing things the nasty way, you know, like not the straight way, not the fair way, not the morally okay way. The Five of Swords in the reverse is nasty fighting, you know, it's like nasty tactics, nasty tricks. This is more about communication and more than anything else. So somebody could be just really thinking they're right even though they're not, or their goal could really be like to hurt by saying what they're saying. In reality, they're only hurting themselves. And if you go into a deeper spiritual understanding and awareness of yourself and other people, then you will agree probably that this is not, you know, this is really not your problem in the end. But of course it becomes our problem, and it can become quite distressing. But you're making here a good decision to say like, no, I'm not going to work with this person, and if they play nasty, I'm not going to be fair. I'm going to be direct. I think there's a lot of directness and a lot of communication, but it seems a little bit like they don't know who they're up against, because the Justice card in reverse can trump the Five of Swords in the reverse like 1,000 times. You know, it's much stronger. And if the Justice card decides to tip the scales and go full on, you know, just mirrors and shoots back the tactics that this other side, this other person, this other party, people in general bring towards you, it's like that's Emperor stuff. It's like it doesn't, you know, it doesn't make you a bad person to mirror and send back the energy that comes towards you just a little more intense, like to show that this is not working, you know. Especially in communication, I feel like it's really like this, okay, that's how you want to play this game, then watch me play this game. And then I'm not sure if you still want to play this game that type of way. So yeah, it's like giving somebody a little bit of their own medicine, or their own actually poison, not necessarily medicine. Yeah, but this is not malintentioned. I think it's more like an act of defense or of demanding also respect, because the emperor doesn't want to control a situation. He's just like, no, this is not gonna, you know, this type of communication or tactics or behaviors are not gonna sit well with me, and I totally see through this, and I'm not gonna let you do this to me, because I don't have to convince you of anything here. I just will resent that, quite literally. I like this. This is powerful, very powerful. Very powerful reading for you, Leo, and you standing in your power. I love that, and not questioning your worth. Very nice. I'm just getting some charms. Oh, it's a lot, but wow, yeah, it's a lot. Fourth, the number 4 could be important, the 4th house. And also number 4 is the emperor. So it is about stability, about power, about structure. That's important here to hold on to. Not too tight, because the emperor is not in the reverse. So the emperor is not trying to control the situation or being a tyrant or, you know, being an autocrat. But he's just trying to make sure that things stay in order for everybody's good. 4th house could also have to do with family and family structures, the home, traditions, and so on. It's the Cancer house, so maybe you have placements in Cancer. We will have a Cancer. Oh no, I just totally confused that, sorry. So the Fox for me is saying like, yeah, be strategic. Also he's saying like, okay, I see your sneakiness because I can be sneaky as well. So the Fox is a very sneaky and smart animal. You stepping into your also maybe more archetypal male power of applying strategy, being also clear in the communication. We have the crystal here. It is about, it might really have to do with a public thing. Maybe this is really something that is more public than private. It could be a PR thing, or in a work environment where you're like, okay, this is, if you want to play dirty, better don't. That's what I see, you know, better don't, because people are watching, and I'm used to people watching because I'm a Leo. Yeah, there's some toxic ego involved for sure with this match here upside down from this other person. Some anger issues maybe you're dealing with. It doesn't have to be work, is what I hear with this charm. It doesn't have to be, yeah, you don't have to go full on beast mode either. It's just, it's a fine, you know, it's just a fine little sword. It's not like a huge, like a knight sword. It's like a fine little, I don't know what's it called in English, floret it's called in German. You know, it's a needle sword. You don't have to, you just have to hit the right spot. You don't have to butcher somebody, if you know what I mean with your words. You know, sometimes it's really just about showing them, okay, I know your spots. You don't want me to go there. That's basically what I see here. And with this Maid of Mystery, yeah, this person maybe, I have a feeling that people, sometimes they overestimate themselves, but it's really, when you feel like you're underestimated by somebody, it really tells you more about how a person overestimates themselves. And that's what we want to be aware of. This kind of conversation still can be fun. It seems like there is still something that you can work on, but this is just like setting the rules. And setting the rules can be quite pleasurable in this sense, because everybody is like figuring out like, oh, okay, this is how we're gonna roll. This is what's okay and this is what's not okay. So yeah, I really like this reading, Leo. I hope you can take something from it, and please check out my description box, and please, please, please subscribe to this channel if you are interested in more of these readings or any other offers. And thanks for being here. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.